So with Moana 2 set to come out next week and the on-set shots of the live-action remake being leaked, I thought now is the perfect time to review this movie. And at first, I thought this was going to be a hard film to review. You see, whenever I review a film that has been out for a considerable time, it's always hard to find a reason to talk about it because we know that this is a good film. But when watching this movie, I realized why I wanted to talk about it. You see, Moana is a great movie, but I don't like it. What? Hi there, it's me, the Average Critic. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more great content on all things animation, and let's talk about Moana, Disney's best modern-day musical. Now, when I say I don't like this movie, that's not quite true. I enjoy Moana. I mean, who wouldn't? The animation is visually stunning. The water effects are probably the best they have ever been. Moana delves into a culture with such beauty and is easily my favorite part of the movie. Whenever Disney delve into a new culture, I always find it wonderfully fascinating, and it helps mold this world beautifully. And the fact that they hired people from that culture, you can really feel the love that this movie has in every performance, song, and style. Maui performing Huckers is the most amazing thing ever, and I am absolutely here for it. The songs are obviously amazing, with Lin-Manuel Miranda doing an exceptional job with this film, being that this was his first job with Disney. So with that being said, what's my problem with this movie? Everything to how this movie is made screams modern-day musical. We have yet again another quirky, goofy type princess. Stemmed from Tangled, Moana is just another recopy of this style of character. For the record, Moana is easily one of the better ones of this type, as she has more character to her than just being the quirky princess, but she is still one nonetheless. The script is written in a way that plays to this even more than most, even going so far as to have a Twitter joke.
When you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
Casting Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Maui is probably the most modern form of casting ever. Despite Johnson's performance of course being good, there is an attitude and a line delivery to his performance that fits this role very well for him. But it's still another Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson role where he isn't really doing anything different or unique, even though he obviously proves himself to actually be a very musically gifted singer.
You're welcome.
And those songs are obviously very well done. Lin-Manuel Miranda has obviously proven himself to be a very gifted songwriter, there's no doubt about it. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a massive fan of his work, but I can't deny that he is very good. Something he is very good at is making music for modern day audiences. The lyrics he uses to even just the slight beats, you can spot his music from a mile away. The film is a modern day styled musical film, so hiring him is the perfect fit. I can't blame Moana for doing something it set out to do. His songs are incredibly catchy and he is very clever at knowing his audience, but his style, it just isn't for me. But I suppose his songs aren't going to be. His style isn't catering towards a 30-year-old jazz-loving classic Disney lover like me. It's interesting that my favourite song throughout the whole film is Shiny, because that film is heavily inspired from the works of David Bowie from Labyrinth, as the song is the oldest style and the most unique of all the songs. I'm sure if Miranda made an old-fashioned jazz number, I would probably love it, but he knows what fans of his music want, and it's this. I can't blame the man for knowing his audience. My favourite part also is the relationship between Moana and her grandmother. As someone who is very close to my own grandparents, this relationship is captured beautifully. So again, the film is a modern day Disney musical coming out in modern day times. It is what it is, and I can't really blame the film for playing to its audience. The film plays music often, there's a lot of songs in this movie compared to others, and again, I don't blame them when you have such a legendary composer, and of course, you're gonna use him for all he's worth. The film is also very larger than life. There's a lot of grand set pieces and action sequences that make the film a lot bigger than its other modern day musical films. This does make the film stand out as everything feels bigger and larger. While Moana and Maui do go on their own personal journeys of Moana finding out who she is meant to be and Maui trying to prove himself, the film isn't much of a personal story as much as it's about Moana's people and her home. Once again, it isn't a bad thing, as this really what makes the film stand out more. but I prefer the more personal and down-to-earth stories of something like Tangled and even Frozen. But that is my personal preference. I can honestly say that no film has ever made me split so much on a movie, which is why I do the rating system that I do. For every time I think of a reason to not like this movie, it's all my personal preference, and I understand how my reasons for disliking it can be another person's reasons to actually like it. Which is why I like films like Moana, as it teaches us to think for ourselves and what we like in a Disney movie. For those who enjoy the modern-style musical with Johnson's style of performing and a modern-style jokes, they're going to adore this movie for all it's worth. But me, I'm just a grumpy old man who prefers something more personal. Films like this is precisely why I started the channel, as I love it when I find films that have such contrasting feelings and emotions, and how one man's junk can be another man's treasure. I must give credit to John Musker and Ron Clements, the directors, as these two are legends at Disney, giving us some of the best Disney films they have to offer. And given how they are still working there to this day, giving us such great films in such different times, it shows how good they are as filmmakers, and how they truly capture the style of Disney films. When you are making films as long as these guys, you have to respect that they know what they are doing, even if perhaps what they're making isn't quite my cup of tea. It's sad to know that they aren't making the sequel. I am still looking forward to it nonetheless, as I think a sequel is a good step for the film. The first film is definitely one of the better of the modern day Disney era. It didn't change the game and do it first like Tangle did, but it didn't become annoying and milked to death like Frozen. Moana is a film that isn't for me, but god damn it, I respect it. So after all that, it gets my professional rating of 9 out of 10, and my personal rating of 7 out of 10. If you like modern day musicals, you obviously love this movie, and if you don't and you're closer to my age, then the film is probably just going to be fine, I guess. I love that Moana has really set this apart, as I remember when I watched it when it first came out, I really enjoyed it, but as time has progressed, I just kind of find it okay. But this is why I love talking about movies like this, because the difference is phenomenal, and I really enjoyed talking about this. So let me know in the comment section what are some of your thoughts on Moana, as this is a film that is quite universally loved, so I'm sure there will be people who will call me out for this. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more great content on all things animation, and make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms if you want to see more of me. Make sure you check out my video next week, as of course I will be reviewing its sequel, Moana 2. But thank you so much for watching me, guys, and as usual, I will see you all in the next one.